Hello, how are you? I hope you're well. I want to say off the bat that I'm not going to be trying to promote anything to you. I'm not going to be announcing anything in this video. I'm not going to be trying to sell you on anything. This is a video where I'm just talking. Talking actually to a portion of my audience, at least what's left of my audience, who I feel like I've neglected in a sense. Not to deep it, because, you know, I'm an entertainer, so it's not that deep. But it's just, there's a portion of people who have been with me since the start, who I sort of haven't gave my attention to. And there's a reason for that. Now, I'm going to explain what I'm on about, but just for context. When I go out, right, this is going to surprise you, because you're looking at these views, what I'm about to say is going to fucking blow your mind. I still get recognised, right? I don't get it either, but it still happens. I still get people coming up to me. And a lot of the time when people do come up to me, they're not people who watch my live streams, and they're not people who are pledged to my Patreon. My attention needs to be on the live stream audience, needs to be on the Patreon pledges. It has to be for the sake of money, do you know what I mean? But with that said, I have neglected the sort of person who has always liked me, who has been a part of my foundation, who has been a part of me creating this dream career for myself by only focusing on the people who are giving me money. I'm going to directly address the people who don't fall in that category today. And I'm just going to be having a chat with you lot. For once. One question you may have for me, if you've not watched me in a while, is you used to make all this offensive content. Have you now gone the iDubbbz route? Do you regret any of your videos? Do you regret anything about what you used to do? Do you have any remorse? And the honest answer is no. No, I do not. And I don't mean that in like an arrogant way. I understand and accept and appreciate that a lot of what I did was offensive. It was racist, homophobic, bigoted, but it was also all for comedy. It was all for entertainment, and it was all jokes. I never sat with any bigoted intention with what I was doing. I was there to make people laugh with the group chat humour that we've all had at one stage in our lives. But no one brought that group chat humour to fucking YouTube, do you know what I mean? And I decided I wanted to fill that gap, and that's what I did. The group chats that most of us have been a part of, where if the authorities saw them, we'd all get arrested for the jokes we say in those group chats. I brought that same humour to YouTube. And it's as simple as that. It's jokes. And I don't regret it. I'm not sorry, even after all these years. I'm at peace with what I was trying to do. And if there are people who really did not like what I was doing, what you do is, you see that X at the top right of your screen. You press the X because you're on the fucking internet. Don't watch what you don't like. With that though, I have experienced a lot of personal growth. YouTube for me was something that I buried myself into. Like, I really just sort of dived into it head first because I had nothing else going on in my life. I dropped out of school when I was 14 because I was very depressed. I was very anxious as a teenager. So I used to go into school and pretend I was something I wasn't, right? I used to act a certain way, and it was almost as if I was putting on a character. And when I got home from school, I felt drained. I felt like I'd been acting all day, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, throughout my entire school journey. So at the start of year 10, I hit a breaking point. I dropped out of school and I wanted to end my life. This is genuinely what I was going through. Thankfully, I never actually got to that point, but I was very depressed. But through that depression, it made it so I was quite isolated from people. That isolation led me to YouTube, which is, I think, the case with a lot of YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers get into YouTube because they've got the time on their hands and they're losers in life, essentially. That's also why I think a lot of YouTubers become weirdos. You know how they're all fucking nonsense and that? Because they go from outcasts, losers, to all of a sudden they've got this notoriety, this internet fame. It's like one extreme to another. And I think it can send people a bit loopy. And I think that's why some YouTubers actually end up doing really fucked up shit. That's part of the reason. But regardless, the truth is I was a bit of a loser, and that allowed me to invest all my time into YouTube. So I dropped out of school with no qualifications because I was depressed. Never had a proper job as a teenager. And a few months before I actually had to start paying bills, a few months before I became a legal adult, this became my full-time career. So YouTube really did save me in a sense and was an absolute blessing. I remember the time period where I was like really head first into YouTube. And it was that sort of 2016, 2017 time where I really just, my life was just YouTube. I thought about nothing else. But then obviously with age, you grow and you know, personal life starts happening and you meet girls and do you know what I mean? Stuff happens in your personal life, and I really, you know, I really lost the mark with YouTube. Like, I didn't appreciate it as much anymore. It wasn't like, even though at this point what I'm talking about, we're talking maybe 2017, 2018, it's become like the biggest it ever was. I was getting hundreds of thousands of views per video because I was no longer a loser in a sense, and I actually had stuff going on. That sort of appreciation for YouTube sort of dwindled because it was no longer my everything. Do you know what I mean? And also because of the fact that YouTube was paying my bills, it adds this sort of pressure on top of it. So it's no longer just a hobby now. Like, I've actually got to get something out of this, otherwise I don't eat. It became something that I really fell out of love with, and I can tell you that confidently, and I fell out of love with it for years. This year, 2023, my personal life has been much, much quieter than it's ever been. It's been a very self-reflective year for me. I've been allowed the freedom to just sort of reflect on myself, look at myself, fucking discover some uncomfortable truths about myself, and really take a step back from everything and for the first time be at one with myself. And this came to be because at the end of last year, my life fell apart, like in more ways than one. And when that happens, there's only two ways you can go, right? You can either just, do you know what I mean? Or you can rise from the ashes. And thankfully, I rose from the ashes and sort of gave my head a shake and was like, right, the way I've been doing things in all areas of my life cannot continue because it's led me here and I've never felt worse. And thus, I've made a lot of personal changes. As you can probably see physically as well, I'm no longer absolutely huge. Mr. Vanter's Mr. Skinny! But I sort of realised, you know, everything I was doing wasn't right, and that led to me becoming quieter and making it so my life around me was quieter, which led to a lot of realisations. One of those realisations that is relevant here, specifically, is that YouTube is, and always has been, an absolute blessing for me. This is so many people's dream jobs, and I've done it. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that I did fall out of love with it for so long is disappointing. It's disappointing. I mean, I can't help it and I can't change it, and everything that has happened in my life and all of my sort of ways of thinking have led to where I am now, so I'm grateful for it all. But at the same time, the fact that I spent my most potent years as a YouTuber, the years when I was, you know, my most notorious, the years when I was my most famous, in a sense, if you call it that, just not appreciating it, just not knowing what it was really, not understanding the gravity of the blessing that I actually held in my hands, and instead giving more of my energy to like relationship drama or whatever else was going on in my life, like drinking, I don't fucking know, like whatever I was doing, I don't even know what I was doing. I just didn't look at YouTube and think this is good, this is for me. It was more just like giving energy to other areas, and then YouTube was just something I did now and again to pay my bills. If you're watching this right now, you're still subscribed to this channel, which leads me to believe that even though this channel has just been a tool to promote my live streams recently, or, you know, it's just not something, it's not a proper YouTube channel anymore. If you are still subscribed, you're either just, you don't use this YouTube account anymore, or you're someone who has genuinely just always liked me, always liked my content, even though I don't do the stuff that you want anymore. You've still stayed with me and just, you know, wanted to see what's going on with me. And I really, really, really do appreciate that. I genuinely, truly do. Now I do, at least. I never used to, but I do now. More general updates about me, if you're interested. I'm doing very well in life. In a sense, like, you know, I'm not a millionaire yet, and right now I'm in Shelly's kitchen, because I'm in between houses, looking at a few properties on the seaside, right? I'll be renting, because, like I say, I'm a dead YouTuber. I still make dough, but I don't, you know what I mean? I won't be buying anywhere, but I'll be renting an apartment or something on the beach, hopefully, pretty soon. But right now, I'm in Shelly's kitchen. But up here, like, I'm doing incredibly well. I think YouTube really had a massive impact in creating who I actually am, like creating my identity. YouTube molded who I am as a man, and part of my YouTube journey is you lot. So you essentially helped to mold me as a person by just watching my videos, interacting, do you know what I mean? Which is quite mad, really. And it's quite strange as well. It is quite strange. It's not like a normal... I don't know, I feel like between the ages of 16 and where I am now, 24, they are like your key transitional years for really growing and evolving into who you're going to be for the rest of your life. And my transitional years were mostly moulded by a YouTube channel. I probably need therapy with that in mind, do you know what I mean? I'm really happy with where I am in life now, and I'm really happy with who I'm sort of becoming. It's been very bumpy. I've not been the best person over time. Like I say, I was never racist and that. My jokes were always just jokes, but I was still a bad person separately, to be honest with you. And I think that had a lot to do with YouTube as well. I think I gained a lot of narcissism, a big ego, just all sorts of these qualities that go hand in hand to mould a person into not being that great. And it's not that I'm not that person anymore, it's more so that I'm aware of my flaws a lot more. I'm more aware that I'm very flawed, as we all are, and I'm able to work through that more and identify it more so compared to how I used to be. Like, I can identify, oh, that's not really good, I should change that about myself, do you know what I mean? Because for a long time I was incapable of doing that. I thought I was a shit. And that's fucking you lot, that, yeah? You made me think I was the fucking dog's bollocks. So that had an effect on my life and my personal relationships, I'll be honest, but whatever, I blame you. I blame you for watching me and making me fucking Brad Does Banter. You made me think I was fucking sick. Anyway, overwhelming point is I know there's a big portion of people who have supported this channel, and you're not going to be the people who come onto live streams because it's not for you, or you're not going to be the people who place the Patreon because you've never financially supported like a content creator before. And I get that. I don't do it either. That's why I appreciate the people who are on my Patreon, because it's not something I'd ever do. I won't give someone money to make content that I used to watch for free. Fuck that. So, like I say, this is just for you lot to let you know that I'm finally in a place where I appreciate what you contributed towards giving me. So thank you very much. And thank you for watching this channel. God bless you.